One morning, you woke up, not to the sound of your phone alarm, but to cannon blasts shaking the earth and sky. Your ears are ringing from the deafening noise. The heavy smell of gunpowder burns the back of your throat. You're not wearing modern clothes or fancy pajamas. You're lying on hard soil. When you open your eyes, the first thing you see is a massive Ottoman banner towering above you. And when you stand up, before you stretch the mighty walls of Constantinople for miles, behind you stands a heroic army, burning with the passion of the prophet's glad tidings. Some are praying, some are sharpening their swords, and some stare at the walls in silent awe. You are one of those brave men, a thick-mustached Janissary forged in the sacred Anatolian core, a warrior who forgot his own name and fell in love with his banner instead. For several minutes, you look around in complete shock. At that moment, a man, older in age but with the heart of a young warrior, shouts with a deep, commanding voice, "Hey boy, you awake yet? Today will be the final assault. Get up and wash your face. Sultan Mehmed II will inspect the soldiers soon." The moment you hear the Sultan's name, your heart nearly stops. Ever since becoming a Janissary, you have waited years for this moment. Conquering Constantinople was not only Sultan Mehmed's dream, but the dream of thousands of soldiers just like you. Sitting in front of your tent, you sharpen your sword. The fear inside you was destroyed long ago through the brutal training of the Kapıkulu Corps. Now, you stand on the final day of the conquest of Constantinople. If you enjoy Islamic POV videos like this, you should like the video and subscribe to the channel, because what you are about to witness will change the course of history. The man who spoke to you a moment ago smiles and asks, "Son, are you ready? Is this your first campaign?" "Yes, my first campaign. I have a little fear inside me and a lot of excitement." The man hands you his water flask. "What's your name?" You hesitate for a moment, then say the name they gave you in the Janissary Corps. Ali? Good. A brave name. I'm Hassan. Today, you and I will fight in the same line, shoulder to shoulder. Hassan crouches down to rest, and you sit beside him. Before you rise the magnificent walls of Constantinople. They are far greater and far more terrifying than anything you have seen in films. As if they split the sky itself in two, declaring that no one shall pass beyond them. But you know one thing for certain. This corps taught you never to surrender. A Janissary never gives up, no matter what happens. Those words echo in your ears. Hassan, almost as if he can read your thoughts, points toward the cannons positioned a short distance away. They say when those cannons fire, they rip the heart out of those walls. That's when your fear disappears. Didn't they teach you this in the course? War is not won with strength of the arm alone. First, it's won in the heart, then in the mind. Sultan Mehmed appears on horseback, only 21 years old, young, dignified, and just as determined. Together with Hassan, you rise to your feet. Every soldier now stands in silence. The Sultan turns toward his army and begins to speak. "My brave warriors, my soldiers, today will be a day whose impact will be spoken of for centuries. Today, either Constantinople will be ours, or we will become martyrs in its cause." Your heart pounds violently in your chest. The Sultan continues speaking, motivating his soldiers. "Our cause is not a cause of land. Our only purpose is to attain the glad tidings of our prophet. Blessed is that army." In an instant, chills run down your spine. Your loyalty to the Sultan reaches its peak. And deep down, you know that loyalty is the greatest armor of a Janissary. The time has finally come. With one of the hands you hardened day after day by striking marble, you grab your shield, and with the other, your sword. You remember the words you constantly heard during training. In war, the sword, the arrow, and gunpowder do the talking. The moment the Sultan gives the order to the artillery with a wave of his hand, a terrifying roar erupts. It feels as if the sky has split apart, and the earth has collapsed beneath you. The soldiers cry out with takbirs. Drums thunder from one side while the Medr band plays from the other. One after another, the massive cannons explode, tearing open cracks in the walls. And finally, your moment arrives. The order to charge is given. Hassan taps your shoulder and together, you begin running toward the walls. In that instant, the words of the Aga and the Kapıkulu Corps echo through your mind. The sweat you do not shed in training becomes your blood on the battlefield. Now it is time to prove your skill. With cries of "Allah, Allah," you reach the foot of the walls. The vanguard units place ladders against the fortress. From the shattered breach opened by the 600-kilogram cannonballs, you climb toward the top of the walls. Arrows rain down upon you, swords rise and fall, and burning oil pours from above. The Janissary to your left is struck and falls from the walls. At that moment, your eyes search for Hassan. Hassan has already reached the top of the wall, locked sword to sword with a Byzantine soldier. With a swift movement, you rush to Hassan's side. Screams erupt from every direction while cries of "Allah, Allah" rise into the air. Your hands are tearing apart and your breath is fading. An Ottoman Janissary is trying to plant the banner upon the walls, but he is struck by an arrow. Just as the banner is about to fall, Hassan shouts, "Don't let the banner fall!" Before you even realize what is happening, you leap forward and catch the banner. The soldiers around you immediately move to protect you. You begin running toward the tower. Arrows whistle past your head from every direction. All eyes are on you as you raise the banner and plant it upon the battlement. The soldiers begin crying out with takbirs. The moment they see the Ottoman banner standing atop the walls, the army surges forward with overwhelming passion. The Byzantine forces begin to retreat, and then a voice spreads like a wave across the battlefield. The city is falling! The gates are opened, and Constantinople surrenders. In that moment, everyone begins to cry with joy. Some fall into prostration, some weep openly, and some embrace one another. From the battlement, you watch everything unfolding before your eyes. You gaze upon Constantinople. You are no longer the person you once were. You are now a soldier of that blessed army foretold by the Prophet more than 800 years ago. Sultan Mehmed II enters the city. As the hooves of his horse strike against the marble before Hagia Sophia, you stand at attention by the roadside, just like the others. The Sultan steps down from his horse, takes a handful of soil from the ground and rubs it across his face. For a brief moment, the young ruler's eyes turn toward you. Your clothes are covered in blood and dirt. Your eyes lock together and the Sultan smiles. In that moment, you finally understand. Everything you endured, every training session, every strike against cold marble, now has meaning. You're no longer just a soldier, you are a companion of the commander who conquered Constantinople. Maybe your name will never be written in history with golden letters, but these walls will tremble with the cries of takbir from men like you until the end of time. You closed one age and a new world was born. Constantinople became Istanbul. Sultan Mehmed received the title of the Conqueror. Yes, my friends, today we crossed the walls of Constantinople. The walls once believed to be impossible to breach, and we breathed alongside a Janissary. On this journey, from the harsh discipline of the Corps to the glory of the Conquest, could you have planted that banner upon the battlement? Or would you have looked at those so-called impossible walls and turned back? Or worse, would you have tried to run at the sound of the very first cannon blast? If you truly felt the atmosphere of this conquest deep in your soul, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. And if you like the video and subscribe to the channel, you can find yourself in many more historical POV stories like this one. See you in the next video.